thank you for joining me today. We're going to be playing with the Chapter 30 My Sunshine stamp. This is the one. You can see the size of it. It's fabulous. I pre-cut her out, stamped her and pre-cut her out already. And I'm going to be using an older one, which is the Vineyard. Don't know if you've got this stamp. I know a lot of people do have it because it was very, very popular. And it's fantastic as a background, a bit of a backdrop. And I just feel she's out there on a holidays today, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm using a 7x7, I think it's 7x7, let me just look at that. Because this is going to be going on an 8x8 card. Yeah, this is actually just a bit 7 1/4, 7 1/4, this one. So I'm going to stamp that on. Now what you can do is with your stamps, you get your template at the back that your stamp is stuck to. You can place that on your card like that to know exactly where you want to be putting your other stamps on top to get the right look of it. So I'm hoping to get a bit of sky at the top here and the Vineyard just at the back there. So that's where it's going to go. So if I get my stamp now, I know exactly where I want to stamp. So that's going to go there. Like that. So she's gone off to France to visit the vineyard, do a bit of wine tasting. Okay, and I'm going to be using the VersaFine Clair Pinecone. Just do one more. Get a nice clear image. I've used it a lot, this Vineyard. It really is gorgeous. There we are. And I'll just wipe that off. Now put it on the black card there. This is my messy card, and it just helps you to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. I want to do a bit of a painted background, so I'm going to be using my my Hemi paints. If you've all got these, if not, just any watercolour paints or gouache paints, whatever you have. And we'll start with the sky. So I want a bit of a blue. I don't want it too dark because it's a daytime thing. Or you can use your distress oxides, whatever you want to paint with. They're all good. And remember, when you do paint like this and you do a sky, if you think, oh no, that's looking too dark, just add a little bit of water and just thin it out. And use a bit of tissue. And of course it does dry lighter as well, so don't worry about it. That's giving that a nice sky. You don't want it too perfect, you want it to look a little bit arty as well. So I'm going in with the just a light shade of the ochre. For doing the walls. Spread, if you've got water, if you put water on, too much water, just spread it out across your paints. Go back into your paint without touching any more water. And oops. And get a bit of a wash down to start with. A little bit darker under there, because that's in the shade of the veranda. So let's paint up this villa. Then we're just going to go straight into the paint and get a little bit of it darker, just to do some shading, like that. Just defines your walls and where there's shade from the light. Just a tiny little bit more water. Squeeze it out of your brush. Like that. This is your artwork, so, you know, just enjoy. Now I'm going to go in with a bit of green. So I'm going to use the greens. Sorry, my palette's quite messy mucky. And I'm going to just dab into the trees here. Just dab it in, like this. Same on the other side. Where you know the trees are, like that. You know, the Vineyard, just on its own, is fantastic for a mail card, or anyone that's going off on holiday and going having an experience like this to the vineyards. And then go for a darker green, and again just dot in. Because this gives the appearance of leaves and the lighted shade of leaves. So you see, you don't have to be fantastic artist and painter just to get this effect that you know that you want. Don't be afraid to play with it. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of card. You can re-stamp, redo, turn it over even, dry it off, turn it over, redo. Nothing's wasted. There we are. Then I'm going to go back with an even darker. Just dab in. Dab into places where it's inside the branches. You see what a difference that's made just by adding those 3 shades of green. It's giving your image depth and a little bit more 3D. The best of the stamps is that you know they give you exactly where you need to shade with the where you've stamped. Can you see these where you've stamped in the black or brown as I've done? And you know, just follow that guide. Just follow the guide. And then I'm going to go with a bit of a grey wash for the outside here, where the pathway is and the concrete is. You can imagine it actually being cobbled, can't you? And the steps there. Going to add a little bit of sky to the back there. Just to join it up. That's it. It's drying as we speak. So a little bit of a darker grey. Just so you've got the shade of the villa. Like that. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and inside here a darker grey. Just add a little bit of black to that. As you can't see in there, and under there. Just a little bit darker. I want to do these pots in a terracotta, so I'm going to go with a little bit of orange and a little bit of ochre. Try and get a terracotta look. A little bit of brown, just a shade around it, like that. Back with this dark grey now it's drying a bit, and I want to do these steps. And around that pot, giving a shade, can you see? you've got that little bit of a shadow with its the light behind. Made a difference, hasn't it? Now this is drying off a little bit. I'm going to go back to my ochre, and I'm just going to darken around here, just underneath here. Then I'm going to go in with a bit of blue, a nice blue, for doing the shutters. Because you see on these chateaus, villas, they have these lovely, it's like a duck egg blue, isn't it, on the shutters. And that just adds a little bit of colour to your image. Like that. Got to go over that. Like that. There we are. It's looking nice, isn't it? Going a little bit darker under here. Let me get my other brush. Just a little. I've added a little bit of brown to the ochre, just to give that a little bit of shade in there. You know, just experiment. If you don't like it, add some water and you can dab it out. It's fine. A little bit of shading from the tree. Down the villa there. And I want a bit of grey for the roof. And the chimney. And there we have it. I've got it all there. And that's it for the vineyard. And then we're going to move on to colouring in. I'll leave that to dry. And I'm going to colour in our My Sunshine lady. So I want her jeans here. She's got her jeans on. And I want those in a denim. So let's go in with the blue. But again, not too dark. I really don't have a lot of white left in my palette. I think that's the thing that goes first, is the white, for doing different shades of the colours. Could have done with 2 whites in it. So a little bit of a denim look for her jeans here, her shorts. I think she's got denim shorts on, like that. And her, I'm going to do her hair in a brown. So I want a top in a pink. So a nice pink. I'm going to start with the lighter shade of pink. It really is fun to get your paints out and have a play. Don't be afraid to get them out. You know, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I don't really paint." You know, well, you can see it isn't difficult, and it's only the same as colouring with pencils or marker pens. And then I'm going in with slightly darker, to do a bit of shading, like that. I don't want much water on my brush. I've actually done that pink and I shouldn't have done, because that's her shoulder. So I'm just going to water that off. As you can see, it's quite easy to just dab off. That's the best of paints. They're very, very forgiving. So that's done the shading along the edge of the frill as well, just as it's folding over. And then in with the dark one yet again, to go down where the folds are. There she is, looking fab. And I'm going to do a hair in a brown. Not doing it too dark, because I want to be able to put hints of gold in there. Just the dark for shading. Add some water. And then with not much water on my brush, just going to go in and shade down some of the waves, just to show the shadow of them. Very little water on my brush. Like that. And while that's drying, I'm going to do her skin. These are my little gouache. I've seen these before and I've painted. And the shoulders. Because it's an off the shoulder top. Rid of some of my water off there. Then I'll go in with a darker one for shading. Okay, and they can be drying. go along the edges, and that gives that light area in the middle, you know, that's rounded. Same here, you've got your round there, and same on your other arm. And that's drying now, so I'm going to add a little bit of a golden yellow on that. So a nice bit of a golden yellow. I'll just wipe my palette. For some reason it's got a bit of green in there. So just some little golden highlights through her hair. She had her highlights done before she went on holiday. There we are. And now we'll do a hat. I think we'll do a hat in a nice aqua blue. Start with the pale. Like this. You can of course paper piece, which is nice. And you sell some nice patterned paper. Go a little bit darker at the back. Even though I'm in exactly the same palette. I've just not got quite as much water on. And that's where we go around and do the shading on there. And of course it's darker at the back, so let's add some around the back. Then I'm going to go for a darker shade of it. You see on these you get the 4, you actually get 5 shades of it. It's brilliant. That's exactly what you want. Lots of shades of each colour. You see how the shading just makes that a little bit more 3D, doesn't it? More realistic. Like that. There we are. And then we'll do her bow. Which I think I'll do in a nice bright yellow. Went over with the blue, but it doesn't matter. That's nice, isn't it? Like I say, painting is more forgiving than using other mediums. Oh, now you see that's a hand. thinking it's the ribbon, but it's a hand, isn't it? That's a dope. So I'll go back in, do a hand. And the bow just needs a little bit of shading. So the parts that puff up on a bow, leave those light. There we are. And she's got some bangles on. She's got a nice pink bangle. She's got a pink one. And she's got a blue one to match her outfit. And there she is, nearly done. And she's drying off already, so that shows how quick they dry. It's drying while I'm working. So the Vineyard is now dry, and I'm going to glue that. If ever you have a bit of puffiness after you've been painting, just pop it through your die cutting machine, and that will completely flatten it. Be sure to put plain card either side, or plain paper, printing paper. You know, it doesn't have to be expensive cardstock. Either side, wad it up to make it go through and really press, and it will come out nice and flat. Same thing when embossing, because we do get warping, some form of warping, don't we? So I'm going to put this on it's like a browny grey. It's a warm grey, which I like. It's part of the from Dalton Manor that Carley Duff presents for. Oof, I don't know what I've done there. There we are. So we don't need too much there. Just so it's got a bit of up a little bit more. That's it. And that, of course, will go on your 8x8 card nicely in the middle, like that. And then she will sit on top. So I'll do that now. I'll glue it down. Be sure to stamp inside your card blank before you do this with your sentiment or whatever you want. You know, that on its own, perfect card, isn't it? With a sentiment on. And then I'm going to pop some foam pads on the back of there. I'm just going to sit her at the bottom there, the bottom of the card. Just there. And with it being on foam pads, you know, it's given the again the 3D look that she's stood here and you can see the shadow underneath. And then from the adventure stamp that was out a while ago, I think it was chapter 26. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's chapter 26. And it had, I want to make memories all over the world, adventure is out there, plant your dreams. So I've done a sentiment here from that. I want to make memories all over the world. You know, it's coming up to the time when a lot of those from university, they go off on their gap years, or they've finished and they want to go off adventuring through Europe or the world. And this is a nice little bon voyage and, you know, have a lovely time sort of card. Or you can just put happy birthday to somebody that loves the, you know, that sort of thing. And they're so versatile, the Imala stamps, they really are, and wonderful for your cards and for your artwork. And I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, do give us a thumbs up, we appreciate it, and share with your friends and get the word of Imala out there. Imala Ink makes art like art, and it certainly does. Thanks for watching everyone, appreciate it. Bye bye.